everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Dusty Book Sniffers, and today we are here to talk about my week 3 bingo roll book, Mirrorland. So let's get started. Or good evening everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I prattle on about the books that I have read. So today, as I said, we are talking about Carole Johnstone's Mirrorland, and I believe this is a debut novel for her as well, and it actually has a couple of blurbs on the front. One is from Stephen King and it says, "Dark and devious, beautifully written and plotted with watchmaker's precision," and the other one is a richly atmospheric exploration of the power of the imagination, and I will have to agree with that. So basically the book is about Kat and Elle are the center female characters, and Ross is the male character in the book, and it starts out with Kat receiving a phone call from Ross letting her know that her twin sister, identical twin sister, has gone missing while she was out sailing. And so now, after 12 years of not seeing one another and not talking or anything like that, Kat is now heading back to Edinburgh, and she's heading back to her childhood home, and she's very reluctant to do so because she just doesn't want to go back there, and she's had a falling out with her sister, and so that's why she's a little bit reluctant to go back. But she gets back there and she is basically saying that she doesn't believe her sister is dead, and it goes on to explain why she thinks that, because when they were children, if her sister fell and hurt herself, she would feel it, and she believes that she would feel if her sister was dead. So that's sort of setting you up for the premise of the book. And so Mirrorland is the imaginary world that they created when they were children, and it goes on to explain what that is about. Now, this was first published by HarperCollins Publishing in 2021, and I got this in the Book Grocer box for the Advent, and it was book 23 that I opened. So if you haven't watched them, you can go back and have a look, and you'll see all the books. They will be making an appearance on the channel. Okay, so basically it says on the back here, number 36 Wessex Road is an imposing flat stone house on the outskirts of Edinburgh, a place of curving shadows and crumbling grandeur. But it's what lies under the house that is extraordinary. Mirrorland, a vivid make-believe world that twin sisters Kat and Elle created as children, a place of escape. But from what? Now in her 30s, Kat has turned her back on her past, but when she receives news that Elle has disappeared, she is forced to return to Wessex Road to re-enter the forgotten worlds and lives, betrayal and danger. But Elle had a plan. She has left behind a treasure hunt that will unearth long-buried secrets to discover the truth that Kat must first confront the reality of her childhood, a childhood that wasn't as nearly as idyllic as she remembers. Okay, so that pretty much sums up the book. Okay, so she is returned, and Ross is distraught because his wife has gone missing. He's the husband of Elle, and Kat is adamant that she has not died. And then she starts to receive emails for this treasure hunt that they talked about on the back of the book. It's a treasure hunt of sorts. So basically she is given a clue, she's told to go to a certain place, and she finds a diary entry from Elle. And it is talking about things that happened in the house in Mirrorland, and it's a make-believe land that they were using to find out, like through their childhood, and they were, you get this feeling that they were hiding from something. And there was characters that were portrayed in Mirrorland, and there was also Ross was in Mirrorland, the mother was in Mirrorland, the grandfather or knew about Mirrorland. The grandfather did not, though. They didn't want him to know about it or anything like that. So there is some stuff in here about abuse, childhood trauma. There's also talk of incest and stuff like that. So if you do not like any of that, so do not like to read about those sort of subjects, this is probably not the book for you. But if you like psychological thrillers and you don't mind little spratterings of that through the book, then you will probably love this book. I have given it a 3.75 star rating. Not quite a 4-star rating, but it is up there. It is a pretty good book. It was definitely a page turner. It is, I wouldn't say it was a fast-paced book, but it was captivating, if that makes sense. It was probably mediocre on the pace, but it was very captivating. It left you wanting to turn pages to find out more, to see where it was going to go, and what Kat was going to learn. Because what Kat has done, it seems like in the beginning of the book, you soon realise that Kat may not be remembering everything exactly how it happened. And so that sort of sets up the premise for this treasure hunt, for her to go and find all these clues and find out who these people were and all that sort of stuff. And some of the twists and turns in it were like, oh my God, I did not see that coming. And I definitely did not see the end coming at all. Like, there were some sad moments in there for Kat and the realization and what was happening. And then there was other characters that were throwing, like, they call them red herrings in and stuff like that, that made you think one thing and then you were, no, it's going another direction and stuff like that. So it did keep me on the edge of my seat. I absolutely loved it. As I said, the author's writing style was, it really drew me into the story, and it was very compelling, and it just kept me there. I didn't feel like I wanted to put the book down. You know how when you get some psychological thrillers, you get to a point where you go, you know what, I can just put this down. This was a book that I couldn't put down, and I'm so glad that I got it in my in the book grocer box. Some of the decisions made by Kat were a little bit questionable. Her character was a little bit wishy-washy at times, and she was extremely jumpy, but I think rightly so. But there were some things that, like, really, did you need to jump at that? You know, like, you just have those moments where, really, that wasn't that scary. And stuff, you know, those sort of scenarios playing out. Her judgment call on Ross was a bit questionable, and even Ross was a little bit questionable. He was a little bit dark as well. Like, there was something going on there that, you know, like you just get this feeling like there's something not quite right with him. So yeah, but the way it was all put together was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Loved it. Loved every moment of it. But still, there were things that let it down. You know, just the character flaws were a little bit, how you going? But you can live with them. You can live with them. So yeah, like I will say that much. You can actually live with them. So overall, it was a really good book, and how it was played out was really good too. I liked the aspect of the treasure hunt. That was like finding the diary entries and like what the next thing it was going to reveal. It was really good. Like, I was excited for those when she got, like, when she said she got an email, like, I was excited to find out what the next clue was and what she was going to find out from these diary entries. So that was a really good part of the story, and how the author played with how we remember things as well, like what we take, like when something happens to us, how we put a spin on it to make it acceptable, I guess in a way to help you cope through that trauma, is how it was depicted, like, and how Kat had done things for herself, like how she was remembering things. I really liked that about the book, and how the author played with that. That was thoroughly enjoyable too. So yeah, so I think a 3.75 star rating from me. It wasn't an exceptional book, but it was still a fun read. It kept me on the edge of my seat, and that's what you want from a psychological thriller. So if you've been here for a while and you've yet to subscribe, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it, and then that way you're not going to miss out on any future uploads. And as always, keep turning those pages, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.